Hello, welcome. It's Happy Friday to everybody. I know
Happy
most of
Friday.
y'all are working and the weekend's coming up, and just hope you have a great weekend. We have our house looks like an atomic bomb went in off of inside of it, and we're trying to get everything cleaned out to put in the RV, and we just got tons of stuff. I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but Dina says we are.
Have faith.
Yeah.
Have faith.
I hope everybody's doing well. Trying to get Dina to put her link in here and come on right now.
I'm coming.
The title tonight is missing or just walked away, and the reason is that you'll see I've got a couple on here that look like they might have just walked away. You know, it's nothing illegal to disappear. It can cost your family and your friends, and you could be in trouble if you fake your disappearance, and people will go out and spend a lot of money on trying to locate you and rescue you. But sometimes people do for whatever reasons. They mentally break down, or they feel like that they can't cope with life anymore, so they just basically disappear.
You know, can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
I always said if I was going to disappear, I'd disappear in Seattle, but now I would never go to Seattle. It was a pretty place
Maybe
to visit.
take a sailboat somewhere. Okay, let's see. Dina's trying to come up here on the side. There you go.
I'm not there.
Hey, what happened? You had curly hair a few minutes ago.
You are so observant. Y'all, he is so observant.
You had curly hair earlier today.
Oh my
What happened?
gosh. Oh my gosh.
What'd you do?
You are so observant.
What?
So what happened was we're going through the pictures. We went through two big boxes of pictures, right? And it was the 80s. And
I like your hair like
and I
that,
had
the way
the
you are now.
I had the same hairdo.
You're delaying for whatever reason. Our voice is a little bit delayed.
Okay, whatever.
But I do like your hair better like that, like you got it right now.
Okay, thank you.
But I didn't notice. When did you do that?
If the live is on schedule, it should start. What I did it while you were sitting on the couch, and I came back in there and you didn't say anything.
What do you mean if we're on schedule? We're on
I
schedule.
got some horrible news about this weekend. My father-in-law's services. I'm driving up to Tess Beach Bum.
I'm
I got
sorry.
some horrible news about this weekend and my father-in-law's services.
Oh, well, he must have died, I guess.
I guess. Beach Bum, where are you going to?
No, it's not illegal to disappear.
Beach Bum, where are you traveling north to?
It is criminal to fake your own disappearance and cost the city. Your family could be responsible if they figure it out you disappeared on your own. Your family could be responsible for the pay for Coast Guard or whatever. Every time I see your last name, Sam, I've been dealing with Costa Del Mar sunglasses place. I've been dealing with them over. I ordered a pair of Costas that were prescription, and they sent me 2 pair, but they charged me 2 pair for them, and they're very expensive. And they sent me a woman's pair and a man's pair, which the woman, Dina, couldn't use them because they're prescription. They're my prescription. So I've been trying to get my money back off of that. But anyway, we've talked about a lot of people believe that Suzanne Morphew disappeared on her own, which I do not believe that, because she's got those daughters at home, and I think it would matter. She wouldn't want to break their heart. And her family, her father was cancer, and her brother spent all that money. I just don't believe she did. But some people do. Some people, or they'll have a mental break and leave because they have a mental break. But we're going to discuss some cases, and then we'll discuss one that they kind of think that's probably what happened, and she just disappeared. First one we're going to address tonight here is Jenna Van Gelderen. This is from Atlanta, Georgia. Last seen on 8/9 of 2017 at 12 o'clock, and I don't know if that's 12 a.m. or p.m. Very pretty young woman, I would say. She's 25 years old, 140 pounds, 4'11", short girl, brown. GBI is the investigating agency. She was house sitting for her parents in Atlanta, Georgia. Her last known contact was a phone call to a friend in South Carolina. This occurred on Sunday, 8/19 of 17, around, it was 1:15 a.m. She drives a 2010 Mazda 6, was later found abandoned in Atlanta, Georgia.
Listen, we're fixing to get talked to.
Oh, our girl's over here. She's got something to say, I think. No, she laid down.
No,
She give it up. I don't know
She
what
was
she
fixing.
wanted.
she was fixing.
She's been talking, very verbal. She's been very, very verbal. This is another one. I found this when I was going through checking out some things. Michaela Walkley, 17 years old. She's been missing since November the 8th, 2016. Beautiful girl, too.
Gosh,
No, she
look
does
at
have a
those
little,
eyes.
the eyes just absolutely just look right through you.
Man,
Yeah, you wonder what was going on. If she left on her own and then something happened, that's all. I watched a documentary several years ago.
they said the intro's playing again.
The intro's playing right now.
Sam said so.
It's not on my end. I don't know why if it's playing again right
Not
now.
playing on my end. Well, I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at.
Yeah,
so.
I know it's not on my end. I don't know what to
Is
do
it
with
playing again, Sam? Oh, wait. Play it again, Sam.
I watched a documentary about a lot of runaways that they will get involved and end up in bigger cities, Chicago, New York, and other places, and they become a part of the street culture. There's street culture, other runaways involved in drugs, sex, all that kind of thing, and they'll form really like their little families within the culture of street people. And a lot of them cannot go home because of abuse and other things like that they left for. Yes, you had some questions?
No, I didn't have anything. I was just
Okay.
watching you talk.
Watching me talk, but that's not very interesting. This one I thought that was weird because you look up Cameron Diaz and you get the actress or the singer or whatever she is. I guess she's an actress. You get this. So that really is kind of hurting the search for her because every time you look up this, you get the actress. So local family desperate to find her out of Waco, Texas.
She ain't been missing long.
Family of a teenager last seen a week ago, desperate to find her, believes she may be in danger. Last seen April the 16th, 2021, Waco, according to Facebook post. And Texas, missing children. She's 5'5", 155 pounds, brown eyes and brown hair. Anybody that happens to know where she could be is asked to call the Waco Police Department or the Texas Rangers. You look her name up, she goes right to the actor. So it's kind of a two-edged sword there. What?
Kendall Stone, I'm so sorry that your father passed away. We will be praying for him.
Very sorry.
She said he passed away today, and she's watching the podcast to keep her mind busy.
That is, we're very sorry. We do pray for peace in your life for sure. This gentleman is Adam Dowdell, 22 years old, is an Alabama State University student. And Alabama State College, I believe, is in Birmingham, which is in the middle of the kind of semi-middle of the states and northern area of the states, about 100 miles from us right now, 70, 80 miles from us. Alabama college student has been missing nearly a week after leaving his dorm room to go to an ATM. And his distraught mother said, now you listen, he goes to an ATM, and that is a classic. They get robbed at an ATM. So let's hope and pray that it's not ran afoul. This says the Alabama college student has been missing nearly a week after leaving his dorm room to go to an ATM. His 22-year-old sophomore at Alabama State University has not returned to college. Okay, it's in Montgomery. I knew it was in Birmingham and Montgomery. College in Montgomery since walking out of his dorm room late Tuesday and another student to get cash. I read that Birmingham news, so that's probably where I thought Birmingham. Now, I just wonder what the other student says. I just want my child back, the mother told the newspaper. His siblings last spoke to him on Tuesday. She started getting messages from friends early Wednesday saying he didn't return or reach out to anyone else at the college. Dowdell, who is known as Bell, did not take any book bag or cell phone charger, 2 items he wouldn't have intentionally left behind, his mother said.
Nobody's going to leave their cell phone behind.
Well, he took his cell,
you.
he didn't take his charger.
Except you.
Yeah, sure. His phone may be down to 1 or 2%, but he never lets it go dead. Cohill, I guess is what his sibling, and other relatives have since traveled to Montgomery, but they're unable to track Dell's phone because its location setting was turned off and the device is dead. And, you know, a lot of times kids will not let their parents track them. And even my 38-year-old daughter, she's able to track her mom and me, and her brother, I don't know, but me, I cannot track her. She said, I live a boring life and you just don't need to track me. But this is why that I encourage parents to, is a part of their agreement with their child, even if their child is being supported by them, that they, like at college or somewhere else, allow them to be tracked. I mean, if I see my son he's 30 years old. If I see my son goes to a bar, so what? I don't care. But if he's headed home and he was to break down or his car should go off way off into the wooded area, then I'm going to wonder what's up. And if I can't get a hold of him, I'm heading that way.
Do you remember the time that he lived in Pensacola and his phone kept pinging for 2 days?
Yeah.
At a railroad track.
Yeah, it was by a railroad track behind
and we could not get a hold of him.
And we were living in somewhere else, or we were traveling, maybe we were somewhere. It drove me crazy. I was almost to the point of calling the police and having them go check that area.
And then we told him, we're calling the police if you do not answer us. And
then he answers. That's weird.
What? Everything's fine. Why y'all freaking out?
Yeah. Since traveling to Montgomery, I've slept 3 hours a day, and this is, I guess, is one of his siblings, adding that someone fired shots at friends and family who were passing out flyers about her son's disappearance late Friday. Cohill said it's unusual for Dowdell to go days without speaking to relatives. From my mama to my daughter to my son, somebody's going to talk to him every day, she said. This is not like him, and I can't even explain the hurt. And here's the thing, even our kids now, we talk to our son or our daughter almost every day. My son just got off the phone with my wife. He's talking to her. He usually talks to, and if we haven't heard from either one of them, I'll ask her, you talk to Dakota? You talk to Mindy? I want to make sure they're okay. Even though I feel much better about my daughter being married now, I know that her husband is going to take care of her. I know he's going to be aware of anything that's going on. When she lived in Dallas, she lived there by herself in Dallas while she's working for a big accounting firm there. I worried about her because Dallas can be a very dangerous place, and she lived fairly close to downtown. But almost every day she would call and say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm headed home," and that would be a time for her to talk to us. And then I would ask her, "Please stay on the phone until you get in the house." And I remember one day she was going up the stairs on her apartment, and my daughter, God bless her, she's clumsy. She fell, and I could hear the phone. I could hear her kind of holler, and the phone just clang, clang, clang. You could hear it. And I freaked me out. I thought, well, somebody jumped her in the stairwell. And it was like 2 or 3 minutes before she picked up the phone and said, "I'm sorry, I tripped and I fell," or whatever. "You all right?" "Yeah, I'm fine. I just did this." But, that's why I like to know that my daughter's okay. Now, when she was out there, I don't think that I even was aware of an app that would allow us to follow her on there. My son, he allows us to follow him on his phone even now because his car is not the best in the world. And when he heads back home, I like to kind of keep up to where he's at, and I don't care if he wants to go over to his friend's house and they stay with some friends somewhere. He called me. I called him the other day because I haven't talked to him. And I said, "Hey, you coming home next week?" "Well, I'm actually about 30 miles away from y'all right now. I'm down near Attala, which is about 20 or 30 miles. And I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "I'm staying with so-and-so down here for a couple of days." And, that's fine. I mean, I don't, it's his business. He's grown, stay who and wherever he wants to. But it allows me to kind of keep up with him and make sure he's safe, because this world is a dangerous place. And being in law enforcement all those years, I really just fear for the safety of my kids. I can't help it. And it's just the way it is. See if did I look something? Yeah, we looked at that. I see if this is the same one here. It says Alabama State University have notified Wednesday that of Alice Bastard possibly missing. Campus police since opened an active, ongoing investigation of the disappearance. University spokesman told the Birmingham News in a statement that ASU spokesman said Dowdell had not been located as of Monday afternoon. 5'7" inches tall, 150 pounds, brown eyes, and black hair. And, I wonder if he made it to the ATM, because if he did, all ATMs have cameras. And they're the type of cameras, if y'all not aware of it, they're very wide cameras. They take a picture, pretty clear picture, up to about 10 feet away, because that's going to let people know if there's anybody standing in the background with a gun on you or forcing you to take money out. So, if anybody ever did that to me and I was standing in front of the camera, I'd be mouthing, "Help, help, robbery." I would be going, "Liz," I'd be doing all kinds of stuff. But I've never had an ATM card except for one time in my life, and that was about 2 or 3 months ago, and I didn't use it. Never used it. Because ATM, a debit card, basically. We have one now, I think, on a thing we have. But a debit card, if you get your money stolen from the debit card, you have to prove you didn't take it, and you can be months getting it back. Credit card, call them. "Hey, I didn't do that." I mean, it's pretty much refunded pretty quick. Dina stepped out for a minute. The phone rang. Anybody got any questions? Put them in caps. I would appreciate if you give me a big thumbs up on this video. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. I get several every week, so it doesn't bother me that much. And occasionally I get hate mail. I did have somebody that used to come here all the time, wrote me a pretty scorching letter, called me basically a sexist and a racist because I was joking around, about one of the several weeks ago. And apparently I don't need to do that. But anyway, it's going to happen. I just deleted it. And that's it. Let me see. I need to push that. Remind people to please, if you are not a subscriber and you watch this, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel and push the little bell on the subscription, and that allows you to come back at any time that we are on. And if you have interest in traveling and journeying around the country and RVing, we have an RV channel too. It's called the Number 1 Million Mile Road Trip, and we are going full time in our RV in less than a month. We're in the early stages. I've recorded about 40 or 50 videos on that channel, 5 or 6 live, and the rest of them are all the others. I mean, it might be something you'd be interested in watching. We hope we can build up our subscribers. We've got about a little under 500 at this time, and we hope that we will have 1,000 pretty soon. That does help us. YouTube pays us a little bit of money for ads. And right now they're getting the ads for free because I don't have enough hours, people watching the hours. I got about 2,000 hours. I need 4,000 within a year, and I need 1,000 subscribers. So tell your friends about it, share it. I would appreciate it. I really would. Okay. We got a small crowd tonight. I don't know where it's about yet. Take a look at this. A little baby. This little baby was taken by its father down in, I think it's Miami-Dade County. Beautiful little baby. I think it was like 7 days old. Oh. And the baby, the father stole the baby. And once you understand all of this that happened, we really, in the police, fear for the baby's safety.
Lake Superior said, is it true if you put your security code in backwards at an ATM, it notifies the police?
No, I've never heard that. So that may be because I have not had an ATM card except for now. I think we have one, but I don't know. The Pasco Sheriff's Office shared images of a vehicle on Facebook on Wednesday, asking for residents to reach out if they've seen this vehicle. This was found in rural. The vehicle was found in rural Branton, Florida, more than 300 miles north of where the baby went missing. We've had bloodhounds out searching, and the bloodhounds found nothing. No indication the child was in the area. The sheriff reported after the discovery, as many people that we get out there right now searching, with as many people as we can get out there now searching, we're looking at signs of this little baby. And Norca said witness reported that they saw a blonde-haired woman sitting in the vehicle. He said detectives speaking with the witnesses and try to get a composite out there. They sit and pray to God that it is true and that she has the baby. And this is why. You'll see why, okay? You get these little things up above that. You see in the middle, woman body found in a U-Haul truck wrapped in plastic and cardboard, police said. Yeah, very, very dangerous, evil world we live in. This is the man that took her. He was found dead in his truck also. And he has the office working closely with Miami-Dade County, where the infant reported missing from the family. Law enforcement officers have knowledge of the investigation and told Tampa police the subject in the death of baby Andrew's mother and 2 other women. They went out. They couldn't find the baby's mother. Couldn't get a hold of her. The family didn't. They went out to the house and they found the mother dead and the 2 other women in the house dead. So 3 people dead in the house. The father took the baby, and he is a suspect, but they won't come out and name him as a suspect, even though he is deceased. And they have not found the baby. The baby is missing, totally missing. Family members notified the police on Tuesday night, saying that they were unable to get in contact with the child's mother. And Tampa Bay Times reported when the police got to the home, they found 3 women dead. So, you know, you wonder if they found 3 of them dead in the house, what happened to the baby? You know, that's the key. What happened to the baby? You have this little child, and you know what I've always wondered too is, with a baby like that that's missing, a lot of times, let me get off of this one thing I'm at here. A lot of times, the only way to find a baby, that the baby shows up in somebody's house that normally wasn't pregnant, and all of a sudden they got this baby, and their neighbors call in and say, hey, Sally over there is not pregnant, and this baby showed up, and I noticed on the news there were a baby missing or kidnapped out of Miami. You know, could you check this out? And it may be legit. They may go over there to the house and they may find this baby and may see that they adopted this baby, or the baby belongs to a relative. But, you know, another way, the woman may had been pregnant or heavy, and all of a sudden turn up this baby, yet they're still in the same state. And listen, I made the mistake. You know, I am prone to make a lot of mistakes, and I really made a mistake. I went to a bank once up in Fayetteville, Tennessee, to get check cash or something. We were customers, and I haven't ever been to this bank before. And this girl comes out to help me, and she's wearing a smock, you know, and she looks like she's pregnant. To me, she looks like she's pregnant. So I asked the question, of course, you know what I asked, when do you do? She wasn't pregnant. I'm not pregnant, she says. Oh, boy, you talking about embarrassed. I was embarrassed. So first thing I went, I talked to Dina. I said, I got to go buy the flowers. And she said, why? And so I said, I got to buy some flowers. And she said, why? I said, because, and this is what I did. And she just cracked up laughing. So we went by the florist, and I said, I got to buy some flowers. I said something I shouldn't have said it. And I told the florist what she said, you didn't. And anyway, they delivered flowers to her with a note on it that says, I'm sorry. You know, crazy. It was crazy. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything. I just, you know, whatever. I just said, I'm very sorry. I did buy her flowers. But, you know, if you see something in your neighborhood, you see maybe a neighbor that's never been pregnant, always talked about wanting a baby, then all of a sudden a baby shows up and there's no explanation. Nobody, maybe they're loners, you know, and there's a baby missing in a nearby state or nearby, then you should, you know, somebody calls the police, I guess calls the police. I mean, you know, it's very hard to call the police on your neighbors. I feel very guilty about doing it. I mean, I've got some neighbors here close by, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He likes to play his radio, like very loud, and doesn't play it very long. It just lasts about 30 seconds. So I'm thinking maybe he comes home from work. He's got the door open and he's got this rap music going. And it's very, very loud, thumping, boom, 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 boom. And it doesn't last about 30 seconds, it goes off. I'm not going to call the police and say, hey, you got loud music out here, because when they got out there, they wouldn't be there. And it just that little bit of time, I'll put up with it. But, you know, if I would not think twice, though, about calling the police on my neighbor if I thought they were endangering the lives of anybody, or that they might have kidnapped a baby. You know, I would really just kind of freak out if that was the case. But then they find out the father actually had the child. He's killed himself and killed 3 people in the house. Now, by him killing himself, after taking the baby, that really gets a bunch of fear in my mind, because he's killed the mother and two other women who we don't know if they're relatives or neighbors or whoever just happened to be in the house. And then he takes a child, and then he kills himself. When he kills himself, is that because he did something with the child he's feeling this enormous guilt over? Is it because he, I'm hoping, everybody's hoping, that this blonde-headed lady that was in the scene in the truck was given the child, and then later on she feels guilty or goes back and turns the child over to law enforcement or to some other family member. I think everybody's hopeful for that. They're hoping that he did not take the baby and say, well, if I can't have the child, nobody's having the child, and then do something, kill the child, and then kill himself afterwards. It's very, very, very discerning and just troubling on my part that he might do something to this child and then take his own life. Just think about, how can they do that? How can they do that to their own child? He didn't want his wife to have the child, so he took the child and killed her. We had down near Mobile, near where I used to live, they had a guy that took all three of his young children, and I'm talking about this like a baby and maybe 2 or 3 and maybe 4 years old, and threw them off the bridge, killed them, and threw them into the water, off into the swamp over there off of Mobile Bay Bridge. And you think, how in the world can somebody take their own child? I could not take my children, and even though I feel like they are as good as blood to me, I don't know how much more. Everybody say, I had some guy tell me, well, these children are just adopted. They're not your blood. How can you feel? I can't explain to you the love I have for my children and how they are closer than blood, that I don't know how I could love them anymore. I really don't. I would give my life for my kids. Absolutely. Without hesitation, I would. And so I can't imagine him taking these kids and throwing them off a bridge. I don't know what his reason. First off, there's no reason. There's no excuse. There's no way that you could, you know what I mean? There's no possible explanation that would, or a reason, no possible reason. So but I don't know what his head was thinking, It's very, very, very disheartening. I don't have you here. You've been missing.
I'm sorry, but they got to see a pretty quilt.
Who was that?
It was our daughter, and she doesn't call a whole lot. So
yeah, just every day.
So when she
calls about every other day. I was just talking about Mindy and Dakota, actually.
Really? I hope you were saying nice things about my children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Notice I said my children, and you agree.
Well, actually, on our adoption papers, it says I adopted them and you are my spouse. But anyway, let me see.
Duke, I'm sorry I didn't answer your question. I had to go answer my phone. But you said, are you a preacher? No, I'm not a preacher, but I believe that we are all disciples of Christ if we are born again Christians. So I do feel, sometimes led to do that. So I try not to preach.
Sometimes she preaches at me. Tampa Bay suspect in the death of the baby Andrew's mother and the other 2 women. They basically said the father was the suspect, although they didn't come out at one time and say it. And I don't understand that. Family members notified police. That is, they checking has when the police found the 3 women dead, according to the report. Say not publicly referring to him as the murderers. I don't understand that unless they have a reason that the child might be with other relatives. Authorities, this is another case, is authorities in Michigan. Now, this one is a real troubling case. Authorities in Michigan are searching for a 14-year-old girl who was last seen Saturday leaving her house with an unknown person. So she left, and I'm wondering if she was groomed on the internet because the other person was driving a car that the videos show her getting into someone's white or gray sedan and pulling away from the front of the residence in Dearborn, Michigan on Saturday morning at 5:15 a.m. Detectives believe the teenager appears to be willingly leave her home and enter into a car, according to the press release in Dearborn Police Department. And you can see a picture here of the surveillance. It's not the best in the world. It looks like the car's got some damage to the back driver's side door, and that it may be something like a Japanese type brand, something Toyota, Nissan, Mazda, because of the headlights. To me, it looks like might be a Mazda, actually.
Isn't Dearborn, Michigan a predominantly Muslim?
It is, and you'll see her. She does wearing the.
I thought I remembered we had watched.
What's that called? The
hijab.
Hijab or whatever.
Yeah.
Hajj or something. She describes Arab American girl with long dark hair and brown eyes, 5'3". She's short and weighs 180 pounds. Unknown clothing she might be wearing. I wish this thing would allow me to do something different here. Last seen with a backpack. Let's see here. This is a picture of her. She looks to me older than 14. However, could be just the way she's dressed. You know, she's wearing the traditional garb of the Muslim population. And what is this around her waist there? Do you see that? It looks like it's something then laced up there.
Yeah, that's probably just something.
I don't know. That's kind of strange. But, you know, not smiling. We don't know what type of relationship she had with her parents that might have forced her to leave. Some of these religions believe that their husband is picked for them. Even in the United States, that happens, where your father and mother will actually pick someone they want you to marry. They do that a lot in the Hindu religion, or they'll. That's why we had a friend. His sister got married the other day. They're Indian and of Indian nationality, and she married a white guy. Wasn't kind of. But they all dressed in Indian garb, which is really, really great. It's awesome. What was that?
Nothing. I'm just reading what Sam said.
Okay, this is the main case, but you can see all of these, except of course the baby, could possibly be someone that just walked away. I don't believe the young black male did. He went and got money from ATM. I don't believe he walked away. We know the baby is not capable, and there's murders involved there. Just a lot, but I've actually known of people just like the huge case that I worked, the last big case of the missing person that I got involved in when I was working. The guy walked away, but I think actually he had some type of mental disease, because he went through almost $100,000 of his family's money on just crazy stuff, and ended up in the end threatening to come back and kill his wife and his kids before running off the road and dying in an automobile accident. So, I think he had a mental breakdown, totally mental breakdown, because he was living in a nice house on a golf course, making a lot of money, and just totally just went off. It was like a couple of days before he went, they said he was naked out on the golf course. So, I mean, little things like that would tend to say, hey, you've had some type of mental breakdown. This is the one that we want to talk about. Let me see, I went too far down. No answers. 3 months after Port Moody woman vanished, and this is in Canada. 3 months after this, they have nothing. I watched their press conference by her friends. Basically, she was last seen by her husband before he left for work. And when he returned from work, she was not in the house and no indication of where she went. For whatever reason, he is not a suspect. So I don't know what they've done that way. I think he was at work all day and can't be verified that he was at work all day. And somebody saw her prior to him leaving work, apparently. But they don't know what happened. Sunday marked 3 months since Port Moody woman vanished, and her family and friends are desperate for any answers that will help solve the mystery surrounding her sudden disappearance. We're frustrated that we don't know. It was Trina Hunt, sister-in-law, Jen Labat of Global News Sunday, told Global News Sunday. And I'm going to have to, they're going to have to do something like that.
What?
That's what it blocks out stuff right there.
Oh.
48-year-old Trina Hunt was reported missing on January the 18th. And that's this year, I believe. I'll have to be 100% sure. Yes, it is this year. We are seeking the public's assistance in locating Trina Hunt. She is 48 years old, 5'4", 120 pounds. Trina is believed to be wearing a puffy black North Face jacket with a teal green color and purple shoes. Please contact the police at that number there, 604-461-3456. Says here her husband was the last to see her at their home in the early morning hours on the same day. A massive air ground search was launched immediately, but called off after 3 days. Now, I don't understand why they called it off 3 days. They live right in, I saw the neighborhoods, they live right near a mountainous area, a lot of trails and stuff. Stated the investigators are interested in receiving dash cam footage taken from the Heritage Mountain area between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. And I'm not sure if they had door cam or whatever. I'm not 100% sure what they had. A day later, Staff Sergeant Brad Sheridan stated that in an email that Trina's family has been completely cooperative with our investigation and foul play is not suspected. And this is why I say they kind of believe that she walked away. I mean, if you say foul play is not believed to happen, then what are you saying? You're saying that she walked away, or either she left, maybe is hiking in the nearby woods, got hurt, they can't find her. Just like Denise said this morning, Ralph, our cousin, went
the one
to
that
the
y'all
barn.
prayed for.
Yeah, went to the barn the other day just to get out, and he was in his gator. Got off the gator and was pulling something off the back of the gator, fell, and could not get up. Couldn't get himself up, didn't have enough strength to get himself up, tried to climb back up there, could not do it. Laid on the ground for 2 hours until his wife got worried about him, got in the truck, gator, whatever, went over there and found him on the ground. Had to get the neighbor to come over to help get him up. So, this could very well happen. She could have fell somewhere, injured, broke her ankle or whatever, and got disoriented, hit her head, had some type of concussion. I mean, that could be. That's why I kind of think after call off search after 3 days. Why? I would have gone a week at least. Let me see. We discuss that. Almost 1 month after Hunt's disappearance, police said that they've utilized several investigative resources, including Vancouver Police Department Marine Unit, received tips from the public, conducted numerous in-person interviews, and examined massive amount of recovered CCTV footage minute by minute. What?
Erin said she cooked my fried cabbage for her sister and family tonight, and they said, tell you they loved it. It was delicious.
Great.
Yay, I'm glad.
Investigators also contacted the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, IHIT, according to February 17th news release. As a part of the mandate, it is to investigate suspicious missing person cases where foul play is suspected. At this time, Port Moody police said evidence indicated that Hunt's missing. Let me see here. Missing person case does not meet IHIT's mandate. So I don't know why they believe that it's not a foul play involved. If somebody's missing and you can't find them, and there's no indication they did leave on their own, I just really I don't know.
Well, maybe she kept a journal and it's in her journal.
Maybe.
I mean, you don't know.
3 months into investigation of the missing woman mystery, Port Moody police declined an interview, instead issued a statement saying the investigation is still very active, with no new updates to report. We continue to appeal to the public for any information regarding Tarina Hunt's whereabouts or circumstances surrounding her disappearance, Sergeant J. Ian Morris said in an email. The department did not answer questions from Global News, including whether any surveillance dash cam video shows Hunt leaving her home on her own between January 18th, or whether foul play is now suspected in disappearance. Said it is hard, it is frustrating, and it is challenging. Hunt's cousin-in-law, Stephanie Ibott, told Global News. Let's see. I'm going to have to just turn this off. I can't read this thing. But we respect that they're professional and they're going to do what they can to find her. Okay. 7 groups of 10 people spent Sunday scouring forests in the Tri-Cities area for any sign of Hunt's belongings, clothing, or anything out of place. The small COVID-safe search parties covered Bunsen Lake area, Heritage Mountain, and the trail to Crystal Falls, and I cannot pronounce that word. Even if nothing is found, Hunt's family members say being able to check off areas in the search map is progress. Knowing where she isn't is an answer for us, Stephanie said. We will not stop until we find her family missing. Port Moody woman speaks out. Hunt is 5'4", we said that, 120. Told there again what she was wearing, asked to call the police. And they're really hard. It said, it is really hard reality to be facing. There's a cat in here, I see. And this is the picture of the
Come in, baby.
missing
Go on,
report. Let me take this
No, it's
out.
okay. Don't worry about it.
Port Moody Police Department seeking the assistance of the public locating Tarina June Hunt, 48 years old, last seen by a Heritage Mountain resident in the morning of January 18th, 2021. She's wearing, and they said that again. So, there's a cat there in Dina's arms.
Hey, he's a
He-
big boy.
He is a big old boy.
He doesn't usually come in here.
No, he I guess he wanted to be around some people. I'll tell you a quick note about the cat. Last night I was sitting there on the computer in the living room. He got right up here on my chest and laid and went to sleep on my chest for an hour. I had to actually move him to get up and go to bed. He was just, I guess, needed. I rubbed his head and scratched him and everything.
Will you look with them pretty green eyes?
Yeah, he's got some pretty green
Oh,
eyes.
that feels so good. Oh, y'all be praying for this cat. He is
No, it's
not
not
gonna
gonna
like
be-
moving in the
He is
RV.
not going to be a happy camper for about a month. I'm telling you, we're probably not going to get any sleep whatsoever. But anyway, we can all pray and wonder if what's going on with her, and maybe if she is left for whatever reason, that she would come back, or at least let somebody
Sam
relatives
says
know
Foul
where she's
play.
at.
Sam said foul play doesn't always mean murder. Isn't that right, Mr. T?
Yes, it could mean foul play could mean that she was forced to leave, kidnapped. It could mean that she's been taken. It could mean a number. Foul play usually means some type of criminal play, though. That's how. I mean, if they say she may have left on her own, they wouldn't say she left under foul play. Foul play means that someone forced her to go, or someone hurt her, or it's going to be a criminal act involved. I think that would be it.
You know what I'm thinking about right now?
What?
I'm thinking about how you might have to stay here if you keep putting stuff in the RV. There ain't gonna be room for you.
No, I don't know what we're gonna do, where we're gonna put all this stuff. I really don't. It's amazing what we have. It's amazing what you can accumulate in 4 years. It is. And this time we don't plan on having a storage locker. So anything that doesn't fit
See this?
is going to be sold or given away.
This is our winter clothes. And we've got 4 bags of them.
I told her, you don't have to have that much winter clothes because I don't plan on staying anywhere it's real cold. That's just how it is.
Oh, T.S. Jackson said, I had a dream shortly before Mom died about a huge wedding. The old folks always told me that wedding dreams meant a funeral. Well, guess what? That wedding probably took place in heaven. That reuniting with all the ones that had gone before. As believers, we believe that that's what's going to happen. I believe that when I die, I will be in heaven with God. I will see Jesus, and I will be met probably at the pearly gates by my grandparents and my aunt and my uncle. I've got an uncle I absolutely loved, and he always said, "Hey, Dino, come on in." He never called me Medina. So
there's a program actually on Netflix right now. It's about the near-death experiences, and the first woman they talked to was a doctor that was kayaking and got trapped underwater for 30 minutes and actually went to heaven and experienced it, but was told she's going to get to go back. Now, here's the thing. She was a atheist pretty much before this happened, agnostic. She didn't believe in God, didn't believe in even a higher power, didn't believe in a creator of heaven and earth. And so, but she totally changed her mind. But now, I don't know if she believes in the Christian philosophies of what that me and Dina believe in, but she did believe in God after that. She believed that in a higher power and that there is life after death. And it is what this documentary is basically is the same one. We read a book called Heaven it's not the book with the little boy in it that died and they made
Heaven is for real. It's not
no,
that
it's that Imagine Heaven it was. And where a doctor that was an agnostic, is that I'm saying it right? He didn't believe, he wasn't a true atheist, but he didn't believe in God, didn't believe in even a superior being. But he wanted to research 4,000 near-death experiences all over the world. And he would come into the fact that all these people had near-death experiences and that he would go to them and interview them. He would interview them on camera and also record it. And for his book, for his research, he wasn't trying to prove that this existed. He was trying to document it. And he says in the book, he was trying to disprove more than anything his doctor nature of being scientific and thinking. What they first thought was this, that when you die, the brain has this energy and the electrons and everything are firing up there, and that this is hallucination. But the problem is they found out that this particular thing happened to almost all of the 4,000 people interviewed, except some of them had a bad experience. In other words, they were like one guy, he was robbing someone and got shot and died while robbing him. And he went to a place he believed is hell. He said he saw fire. He smelled sulfur and brimstone. He said he felt the absence of the absolute, as lonely as you can possibly be, the absence of God and love and nothing. And everybody that felt they went to heaven, every one of them said, I felt an overpowering sense of love. That it was just so, every one of them just about said, I don't want to go back. There's a couple people said they asked, can I please go back? I have unfinished business. But most of the people said, even the doctor, when she said, when I was up there, I said, I do not want to go back. That the overpowering feeling of love from where she was at was so strong that it was, and what she saw was so vibrant, colors and smells, and it was just amazing. And some of the people in this book said that while the doctors were working on them in the ER or in the operating room, they were standing or hovering on the ceiling, watching these stuff happen, or watch stuff that happened in the hallway where there's no possible way they would know what was going on down there. Even one said they saw the relatives praying for them in the chapel. So it was a very, very, very interesting book. And this that we read, and also this movie is very interesting.
The book that we read,
turned this guy that was an atheist, agnostic, into a Christian, basically, over this. But the documentary is very, very good, and the mass amount of people from all walks of life and all different countries experienced something after they died that he interviewed. The people that went to heaven, I say 90% of the people that he interviewed saw almost the exact same thing.
But the book that you and I read, that I read to you, and he would come in there and lay in the bed, and I'd read to him this book. We got about halfway through the book, and he said, hang on a minute. And I stopped reading, and he said, I'm ready to get this party started.
It makes you so, so it gave me a whole different outlook. There's no doubt. My father, there's no doubt I'll see him again in heaven. There's no doubt I'll see my mother again in heaven. There's some people, I'm sure, they will not go to heaven. People that denounce Christianity, as far as I know a lawyer in town, and he is an atheist. He calls the Christians Talachrist, for Taliban, Talachrist. He's an atheist. He doesn't believe in that, does not want to hear about it. He hates the Christian faith, basically.
Blake said she worked as a nurse at a nursing home where at times you could feel the soul leave the room.
Yeah, I've heard that too, that, Well, our good friend Todd. I mean, he was witnessing people the day he died.
Well, I put on here, I had a cousin that she refused. She would not hear anything about Jesus. She wanted nothing to do with God. And a week before she died, maybe not even a week, a couple of days before she died, I think it was, she was screaming for them to put the fire out, And they tried to witness to her even up to the end, and she wanted nothing to do with God.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, not even trying to, I mean, I don't know.
Because they're mad at God because of what his children have done to them. That's what it is. Think about it. And God didn't do it.
Yeah.
God's, y'all, if you can't see the hand of God in your life, trust the heart of God, because God's heart is for us. He created us in Psalms 139. He created us with a plan and a purpose. He created you in your mother's womb, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and there is no one else like you. He knows every word you're going to say, every thought you're going to have. He knows the number of hairs on your head, and what's really neat is he thinks about you more than there is sand on the sea.
And I'm going to tell you something.
There's a lot of sand on the sea.
I have been amazed at what he's done in me and Dina's life in the last 6 months. Sold a store that I thought no way we were going to sell it. Had a guy that was going to buy it. He walked out on us on it, and I was just
okay.
Hold on, and then he turned around and sold an RV that we had been trying to sell for a year or two, and then he found us the perfect one for a price that we could afford, and sold our house. So if we're not working, if we're not doing the will of God by doing what we're fixing to do, I don't know what to think. Okay. He's laid out the plan.
Okay. So, but let's go back to the conversation that we had with my dad this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know this, y'all. We talked with Dad. I don't know. I mean, I've heard all the stories I thought I could know. And Dad said that he took a plane to California. He was headed to Vietnam. He was getting ready to get on there, and they called for Mr. Pearson to come back, or Sergeant, whatever he was, Pearson to come back to the thing. They needed to talk to him. They told him they wanted to send him somewhere else. The bad thing was it was going to be a 2-year tour. The good thing was he could take his family with him. That took me to Korea with my dad, which radically changed my life. My daughter said, I don't think I would have been here if you hadn't gone, if Papa hadn't got those orders and you hadn't gone, because I wouldn't have been impacted by the Korean children that I saw in the orphanages and the hospitals and all. So everything laid out in my life, I can go back, way back. And I can see the hand of God now where he worked it around. And when Tommy asked me to marry him, I begged him to join the military so we could go back to Korea. I'm not sure we'd have got there, but that's what I wanted to do.
And I'm going to tell you, I probably would not have done adoption. Adoption was not even on my radar.
No.
And even though we found out we couldn't have kids, we probably would have been just kidless. If that, I don't know that we would have adopted. I don't know, because you were exposed to adoption. I was not.
Y'all, in Tommy's whole family, go back years and years and years, there had never been an adoption. There had never been a divorce until we got married. We didn't get the divorce, but one of his aunts did.
And there's been several people adopted in our family after we adopted.
Yes, after we adopted. But the thing is, when he asked me to marry him, I told him, if you can't handle adoption, don't ask. I do not want to have children. I want to adopt, because there's so many children that need a home, a mom and a dad to love them.
But if you hadn't been exposed to the orphanages in Korea, you probably wouldn't have been. I mean, that was something. No. In fact, I didn't know of anybody that ever been adopted until we got married. I didn't have a friend that ever been adopted
that you know of.
That I know of. Yeah. Somebody might have, but it's funny sometimes. If you would see my daughter, where she's Korean, if she would just come up to me, and she comes up and I give her a big hug and a kiss on the cheek or whatever, and because I don't even think about it, it's not even registering. that she's a different nationality than me. Nothing,
But you don't think about those
I don't
things.
think about those things. And yet I see people look at us sometime, they'll look, the kind of thing. But I did do something kind of silly. And I've mentioned this before. She called me a couple
Can you
years
see
ago. Yes. She called me a couple years ago and told me she was going to take me to the Eagles concert in Birmingham. She flew down, picked me up, and we went to the Eagles concert. And I told her before we got out of the car, I said, now you're going to
Look
have
how
to
beautiful my
call
baby
me.
is.
You're going to have to call me Dad a few times here, because I don't want people thinking that I'm robbing the cradle with this little girl, because I'm very touchy-feely with my kids. I put my arm around her. I kiss her on the cheek. I tell her I love her. I'm not bashful about saying that in front of people. And she laughed and thought that was just the funniest thing in the world. But people do. They see you with this young Asian girl, and they think, look at that old guy with that young Asian girl.
Look at that good-looking guy.
Yeah, that's
Look at that
the big nose. Look at the
good-looking guy.
nose. Look at the nose.
Oh, whatever.
She was a
Doesn't he look like
is
John
beauty
Denver?
queen. She's
Doesn't
a
he look
beauty
like John
queen.
Denver?
Yeah,
I think he looks like John Denver.
beauty queen. I was very, very blessed that Dina, for whatever reason, married me.
I married you because you were the one that God wanted me to be with.
Okay, people, it's the weekend. Have a great weekend. We're going to be working, packing the RV, and we'll probably, I don't know, we might even do a live stream from the night we take off, just out of it, no matter what day it is. And we're a couple of weeks ahead of the videos that are running in the on the RV channel. And the reason why we're doing that is staying a couple weeks ahead. In other words, they'll run behind us. The videos will run a week or two behind us, is because not everybody on the internet is sane. And, I've gotten all kinds of emails and comments, and I just don't want somebody
That's my
showing
goal.
up at the RV park wanting to talk to me about my past police career or whatever. So, but we plan also in different areas of the country as we're out. If we can meet you for coffee or come by and talk to you, we don't mind doing that, because y'all have become
There you go. That's the motto for the week.
family, and you're become like a second family to us. And we hope to see you out there too as we grow, our channel grows. Yes.
Let your faith roar so loud that you can't hear what doubt is saying.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that
We will see y'all
came.
Tuesday. It's Friday. We'll see y'all Tuesday night.
We'll see you Tuesday if nothing happens. And of course, they're calling for super bad weather here on this weekend.
Yeah.
Possible tornadoes, the whole 9 yards.
Really? Tornadoes?
Yes. Most of it's going to be south of where we are, but they are calling for some real bad weather. Everybody keep your heads down, and we hope to see y'all on Tuesday, and we love y'all. And I don't have any videos to put up other than
Sam said her mom was carrying on a conversation and staring at someone we couldn't see for hours just before she passed.
wow.
Let me tell them real quick about my uncle, Denise's dad. Every time his wife would walk into a room, he would say, y'all, he would hear her come and he'd say, y'all, listen up now, watch. And she would walk in, he said, the most beautiful woman on earth just walked in the door. And she would always say, oh, Clyde. And so anyway, Denise said the night that her mother died, that she got the biggest smile on her face. And she said, oh, Clyde. And it gives me chill bumps. It gives me what I call holy bumps. But Denise said she believed that her mother walked through the gates of heaven. And Clyde said, hey, everybody, listen up. The most beautiful woman in heaven's fixing to walk through those gates. And see, that's amazing to me.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to play this one of I'm gonna play the tape of our friend's dog and her doing the center, and then Dina getting our dog to do center because she's starting to do the center for me also. And then we'll play our outro. We love y'all. God bless y'all.
Did you get
Okay.
it?
All right.
Okay, I like teach him all these weird. Okay, sit, shake, the other paw. Okay, down. Oh, he doesn't like lay down on that. It's okay. Okay, center. Go.
Oh,
That's it.
Oh,
that is awesome.
good.
No, get over here. Get there. Sit. Sit. Maggie, look at me. You see this? Center. You are so smart.